On this date 10 years ago, the Confederate flag that flew over the grounds of the South Carolina State House was permanently lowered after a racially motivated tragedy at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston. But the saga behind the flag's decades on display reveals a divisive past. Greg Adeline walks us through the timeline.
In 1961, South Carolina's leaders first raised the Confederate flag at the Dome to punctuate that very point, marking the 100th anniversary of the Civil War. The following year, they passed a law that required it to stay there. Some historians insist the flag most likely remained there to represent opposition to the Civil Rights Movement.
If we throw away our Confederate flag, we have thrown away one of the 4 periods of the history of South Carolina.
But as the years went by, into the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, opposition to the flag.
We too believe that the flying of the Confederate flag in 1972 is an obsolete gesture.
Began to intensify.
That is my house, and what flies over my house ought to be my flag.
With opponents calling it a symbol of racism and white supremacy.
As long as the Confederate battle flag continues to fly at the Capitol, there can be no peace in South Carolina.
If I have to go up the pole and pull it down, I'll do it.
Still, efforts in the legislature to remove the flag often failed over the years for lack of support. In 1996, Governor David Beasley proposed moving the flag to a State House monument, an effort that stalled the following year. Resistance to its removal deeply entrenched. Supporters of the flag insisted it wasn't a symbol of hate, but of heritage.
It's all historical. It's my way of telling people it's history. Keep it in context, stop trying to erase it.
The flag is not a symbol of hate or racism by any stretch of the imagination.
And you're looking at live pictures of the South Carolina State House.
250 flag supporters, and that number has been growing since this morning.
To keep all these immigrants from coming in here and taking everything away from us.
The bitter debate, with the flag still flying at the Dome, spilled into presidential politics.
The question is, does the flag offend you personally?
Brian, I believe the people of South Carolina can figure out what to do with this flag.
We still have bridges to cross in our country, and we better go on and get across them.
By 2000, the issue came to a head with an NAACP boycott and dueling crowds gathering at the Dome. Some calling for the flag to stay, thousands more calling for it to go.
Roll call is required.
By spring of 2000, a bill made it to lawmakers.
As much as I love the NAACP, I love South Carolina even more.
I'm torn. I'm right here, right before time to vote, saying what do I do as a senator when my district overwhelmingly wants me to keep this flag up?
There was a compromise about the flag in South Carolina in 2000, and it was highly unsatisfactory.
That compromise, a law signed on May 23, 2000, removing the flags from the State House Dome, the House, and the Senate, and placing them in the State Museum. Civil War reenactors then raised a different, smaller flag up a 30-foot pole next to the Confederate monument on the lawn of the State House on July 1, 2000, where it would remain for more than a decade, even as our nation would elect its first black president.
A black presidential candidate at the South Carolina State House on King Day, standing in front of the Confederate flag.
We've got to come to terms with our history, but we have to be optimistic about our possibilities in the future.
But the fate of that flag flying at the State House was forever sealed on June 17, 2015. The banner that always seemed to survive opposition in the past could no longer withstand the overwhelming public outcry in the days after the racially motivated Mother Emanuel shooting, when images of the shooter emerged, showing him proudly displaying the Confederate flag.
Bring it down now!
That Confederate battle flag that flies in front of the State House is certainly a racist symbol.
We are asking, Lord, that they bring the flag down. We're asking that 9 lives will not have been lost in vain.
And less than a month after the shooting, former Governor Nikki Haley signed a bill to permanently remove the flag from State House grounds.